Thank you very much for once again inviting me to the center here. And I was, I think, recently here on the establishment of the ethnic network, where I remember at least some of the faces. So I would also like to basically congratulate the center here for establishing a course in conflict resolution, because I think over the years this particular area is going to become of increasing importance in the way we govern ourselves and the global system after the Cold War. So in that sense, I am convinced that conflict resolution is a growth industry. There will be lots of jobs available in the future, and I think it is a worthy profession that should be taken up seriously. And I say that particularly because the peace research community from which I come from had basically forgotten also the dynamics of conflict resolution as a part of the work in the last few years, and it is only very recently that again conflict resolution has come back as a major focus of attention for the peace research community. What I will do in this presentation on new approaches to conflict resolution is to talk to you about how to close the mediation gap which exists today in the world. In the process of this discussion, I will talk about the paradoxes after the Cold War. That whilst the Cold War has certainly seems to have disappeared, we still have a lot of the institutions which were based on the Cold War still with us. And it is the difficulty in the transition to a new global order that we grapple with the question of conflict and conflict resolution. Let me first share with you some of the research findings which Max will now help me to portray in the table, which are basically research findings that we have been able to gather with regard to protracted ethnic and internal conflicts. The paradox of the situation about conflicts is what you see here, and before I go on to elaborate on some of the points, I would like to just touch on the concept of conflict. Conflict has been defined by the Western discourse generally in terms of a clash of interests, which is if A and B has a clash of interests, this would result in a conflict. There are those like Burton who have argued that conflicts are a clash of values. I would go even further to say that conflicts are really clash of projects and missions that people carry within themselves. And it is this clash of projects and visions which make both conflict extremely exciting and sometimes extremely troublesome.